Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Friday, October 14, 2022. Yes, I am flying solo, both Riley and Scotty on assignments, and I'm going to just try to get everyone caught up to what is going on in the sports world, and then we will have our weekly spot with Mr. Lucky Follow Fade talking NFL this week. A quick recap of last week and this week's NFL CIRCA Millions card, where he is doing very, very well. I think about 3 games back at the third poll, basically 18 weeks, something like that. So be good to get him in. Currently bottom of the 8th, Cleveland and the Yankees 2-2. Hats off to the Cleveland Guardians. Stanton cries because he thought he got walked and they called it a strike, and next pitch it's a 2-run homer, take a quick 2-0 lead, figure that's going to be enough, and the Guardians do what they do. They claw back 2-1 and now 2-2. Bottom of the 8th, initial starters Bieber and Cortez, they are both out, and it's a bullpen game, and it will be basically one mistake probably that will decide this game. Obviously, bigger game for Cleveland as they want to get back to Cleveland 1-1 because of the rain out. They are playing tomorrow, no day off. They had the day off yesterday, and Sticks McKenzie will be waiting. So if Cleveland can find a way to win this game, they become dangerous on Saturday, like I think the Phillies do today. And that's the next game up. Phillies facing Atlanta, and Atlanta is bringing back their ace Strider, who's been off for a while, who was injured. Overnight number NOLA minus 120. It is now gone to Atlanta minus 122. At circa 118. So everyone is jumping on board the Strider and Brave train. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Phillies steal game 1. And after that game, you could have got the Braves plus 120. Okay. So now you got the Braves basically in a must win yesterday. And they get that. Actually, the day before, right? The day before. But my point is here, they bring back Wheeler, then Nola today. I get the fact that Stride is here. He's back. He has been absolutely lights out and dominant. But what are you going to get from him? If something tweaks, if something's not right, it could be a quick hook. I mean, obviously, you're hoping to get 4 or 5 innings. I assume he's on a pitch count, maybe 70, 75 pitches. There's something about this Philly team that I'm not saying they're going to win the series. Okay, don't take that this way. I think this could be a sneaky 5-game series. I like the value here with Nola in plus money now, plus 112. And we're going to take that and keep an eye on that situation. The night game, again, Dodgers, San Diego, 1-1. Goslin versus Snell, another one, the pitcher that's been out for a while. A number where the Dodgers opened up minus 130, now minus 121. Snell plus 111. I think the Braves are going to the Padres are going to get some runs today. They're home. They're feeling confident. I watched them walk off the field, not like ecstatic that they stole a game, but confident. And I think they bring that back, and I think they can put up a crooked number early and take that. Snell's been nails. I think the Padres team total right now is 3.5 plus money. I think they get to 4 or more today. So keep an eye on that one. 2 college football games, excuse me. Navy SMU, a number that opened at 10.5, now 12.5, 13 at DraftKings. Under over opened at 55.5, now 58. It's 58.5 at Westgate. SMU is going to be able to score early and often. It's a matter of Navy trying to play the keep away game and just grinding out first downs. They don't have the ammo, no pun intended there, to keep up with this SMU offense. So if they can generate first downs, they can stay in the game. If they get behind early, 10-0, 14-3, 17-3, it's going to be a long, long day for the Cadets there. The other game is UTSA versus Florida International. Florida International, one of the worst teams in football. UTSA 33.5. I watched UCF yesterday put up a 70 spot. I'm not saying UTSA is going to put up a 70 spot, but their team total is 48.5. And I think they probably can get to that probably in the third quarter if they want. Now, we've seen some of these Friday night clunkers where these teams that are supposed to blow out other teams go through the motions. UTSA is going to control the scoreboard. Now, do they cover the 33.5? I don't know. The under-over is only 63. So, I mean, technically, is this a 50-10 game, a 50-13 game? I think Florida International's team total is 14.5, juiced under. So if UTSA just wants to play the offensive game, they might allow a couple cheapies, but again, it's all up to them on what they decide to do there. NHL. Now, I'm going to be full transparent as we always are. Yesterday, we were 1-2 in the VIPs. We had the Baylor team total that went flying over. We had the Mariners in the afternoon blow a 2-1 lead. 2 mistakes by Castillo. A home run to Tucker, then a 2-run homer to Mr. Alvarez, who reminds me of Big Papi. I'm not trying to compare the two, but lefty, strong, opposite field homer yesterday. Game 1 obviously stole the show with the 3-run homer to win that walk-off. This Astros team is destined to make it to the ALDS, and they have ALCS, I'm sorry, which they have, I think, 4 or 5 years in a row. We'll see if it's versus the Yankees or the Guardians there. Tomorrow, it's basically a pick 'em with Kirby on the mound. Like last year, does the Astros lose game 3, then win game 4? They did that in the South Side against the White Sox there. Will be interesting to see what happens there. I think McCullers going for the for the Astros there. Okay, so our other losses, NHL. We had the Wild team total over 3.5, plus 125. Final score was 7-3. Rangers blitzed them early. We got to 3 with 9.5 minutes to go. I thought we were going to get to 4. We didn't. So we're 0-2 in team totals. We did take a team total tonight in the NHL. 4 games on the NHL docket. Tampa Bay at Columbus opened at -170, now 205 with a 6. Montreal at Detroit opened up. Detroit -160, now 154. A little money trickling in on the Canadians, who stunned the Leafs game 1 there. Rangers at Winnipeg. Winnipeg opened up -115, now 140. I would think 2 things there. Shesterkin is out. I'm sorry. Number 1. Number 2, Rangers on the back-to-back 3rd game of the week there. So over opened at 6, now 6.5. A team total at Winnipeg of 3.5, juiced under. I think they get to 4 or more, and you can grab some plus money at around plus 115 on Winnipeg there. And the last game, Carolina versus San Jose. Carolina opened up -185, now 205 with an under over a 6. So that's the slate as we see it. Again, I'm flying solo today, so I'm going to be able to more a little hands-on, one-on-one with Mr. Lucky, who is experiencing what I have experienced for years in these contests. As everyone knows here at ECSI, it's a day-to-day grind. January 1st will be the start of our 8th year. We're probably in the 1.5%. Same name, same brand, same face, never changed anything in gambling Twitter lanes. I'm proud of that. We are the #1 ranked sports investment firm according to Google first page. If you go to Google and type in sports investors, you will find us. That's us, the number one ranked there. Proud of that. No one remembers what you did yesterday. It's what you do today. So whether we were 3-0 yesterday or 0-3, we will wake up and we do the same thing. It's Groundhog Day every day. And if you use that mentality, whether you're in a contest, you're in a local pool, survivor pool. Our pick this week for the survivor pool is the Rams. We're taking the chalk to get off the schneid there against a third string quarterback with a new head coach against Carolina there. But that's life mentality. You know, when you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the ground, you're blessed. It's a gift. You have 24 hours to make a difference. And what you do in that 24 hours is totally up to you. You sit on the couch and flip through Netflix and the games today. Well, God bless you. You didn't accomplish anything. You didn't make a difference. You didn't reach out and change someone else's life, or you didn't try to help someone in need. You just sat in your shit. It was a bum for the day in my eyes, but I'm not here to judge you. So what we do every day here at ECSI is, again, we try to make a difference. We don't take a day off. I haven't had a day off in 9 years. I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. That's what I chose. This is what I enjoy. It's not a job because I enjoy this. I don't put in a time clock. I don't say I put in 17 hours yesterday and probably going to put in about 18 today because of tomorrow's card. NHL, college football, the NFL on Sunday, yada, 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 yada. So without further ado, let's bring him in. The one, the only, Mr. Lucky himself at Follow Fade.
Hey, Jeff. Happy TGIF. How are you?
I am okay. How are you, sir?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Happy to be on, as always. We are plugging away at circa week 6, amigo.
Yes, and a little cherry on top. It's your birthday weekend, and you'll be heading out to Vegas, correct?
We are leaving tomorrow. Be there 2 nights. Be at the Westgate. That's the plan for now. Have some winners. Go 5-0 is the plan, right, Jeff?
Are you staying at the Westgate?
No, we're staying down at the Strip. The boys are going to take me down to the Strip. Have a good time. We'll do a buffet. You know, these guys love college football. I mean, they're so pumped up about tomorrow, Jeff. They've asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm researching for Sunday. I don't give a rat's you know what about college football." I kind of do. I like one game, Jeff. I like LSU tomorrow.
I talked about that with Riley this morning, and LSU got egg on our face. We didn't play them last week. I leaned them, though. I thought that was a good spot. And as I talked to Riley, and I'll explain this to you, it's funny. You're not betting LSU. You're betting Brian Kelly on a bounce back. Meaning, go back to week 1 where FSU played LSU. You weren't betting LSU to beat Florida State. You were betting Brian Kelly to beat Florida State. There's a couple coaches that you take the coach with the team. And you know, Nick Saban is Alabama. I'm not trying to compare this, but this is a perfect spot. A Florida team that has been hit or miss as well. A number of 2.5. I told Riley, buy the hook, take LSU plus the 3, sprinkle a little something on the money line. I expect a full bounce back effort. I like where your eyes are there.
Yeah, and you know, I also think that last week's score, I mean, I do watch a little bit of football, college football. I think last week's score was a little misleading, right? I mean, you know, it's kind of like the NFL. We look at these box scores week to week. Scores can be a little misleading. There's more than meets the eye. I fully expect a good effort at LSU. That will be my probably play tomorrow. If I can be enticed by Jeff Larson in the morning on an alert. Jeff, why are you? Jeff, you know listen, we're gonna have fun today, but I got a bone to pick with you. Why are you playing noon games when you've even said you hate noon games, amigo? You've even said, I hate noon games.
I didn't release a noon game. I released a noon game for you. It's 3:30 back east.
Okay, that's true. You're right. I didn't check that. Okay.
And I'm
But
trying to beat.
you've been unlucky though.
I broke the snap. I broke it last week. Last week was kind of unique. I sent out 3 games, 3 individual games, and we went 3-0. The week before we went 1-4, and I sent a bulk. The noon games, whether it's college football or college basketball, there you go, has always been a tough spot for us.
Yeah.
So the Alabama game was 7.5 and 8, 7 in some spots. I get the wink wink, the alert that CIRCA moved it to 9. That told me the wise guys know Bryce Young's going to play. So there we wanted to beat the move, take Bama -7, 7.5, 8, whatever you got it at. Take the team total over 37.5 and just enjoy the game. It's an 80-20 split on Tennessee, by the way.
Wow.
It's the biggest public trendy dog of the whole year. The whole year. It's not even close. When the books need Bama, you know there's a problem.
Well, then the Ricky Aroma special tomorrow, right?
Correct.
Jeff, so it's been a good year so far in the NFL. I can't complain. I've done well, personally done well. Jeff, I got to tell you, I've been impressed with the boys. I've been impressed with our process. Um, it's been a lot of fun. We're at 74%. I mean, that's not chopped liver, and we're still not in the top 100, Jeff.
I was trying to do the quick math. You're close to the top 100.
We're smelling it, my friend. We're 18-6-1. It's been a good start. No regrets. Monday. Listen, you knew it. I knew it. Arrowhead knew it. That was a horrible spot for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we sitting with the CIRCA on Monday night, Jeff? I didn't text you because I know you were going to lay it on me. We were 4-0 with the Chiefs, Jeff.
I'm surprised with that because of the fact that you knew the Bills were coming into town next week too.
I got to tell you, I didn't put my foot down on that because there's friends here, and we made an agreement. We sort of decided what's our best pick. One of the guys really liked the Chiefs. Brethren, the brethren power went overboard, I thought. But it was 29. It was 30-23. I don't know what Andy Reid was doing. I mean, why is he going for 2? I mean, you could be up 8. I was a little optimistic, but it's fine. We move on.
Well, don't forget too, and again, I don't know if this was taken into your analysis, that their kicker's hurt. It's like the same thing with the Cardinals. The Cardinals last week, their kicker was hurt. And so you're taken into consider. Actually, hold on. Let me backtrack. Cardinals kicker was out. Did Bucker play last week?
No, he's out.
Okay.
He's back this week, by the way.
But you did get a 59-yarder right before the half.
Yeah.
So I talked to you at length. We talked behind the scenes. The 2 teams that you guys automatically should scratch off your board is the 49ers and the Raiders. I mean, just they're kryptonite. That's what they are. It doesn't matter if you have the next day's paper. They're just kryptonite.
Yeah, the Raiders have gotten us twice.
And the 49ers, how many times?
49ers have gotten us twice.
Okay. So of your 6 losses, they have 80% of your losses.
Yes.
It's just, again, the process, people don't understand the work that gets put into this. And the 0-5s and the 1-4s, they happen. And if they happen the first week of a quarter, immediately people said, well, the quarter's over. I can't win it. But you still have the long-term goal. And when someone goes 18-1-1 out of the chute, okay, and you had a good first quarter, and then you come back, the hardest thing in this contest is sitting there at 4-0 waiting for that holy grail in that 5-0 week.
Yes.
And you had the extra day to sit on it. And I know you. You was woke up Monday morning knowing you had a chance at 5-0, but you were really second guessing yourself before that kick.
Oh, totally. It was a beautiful week. We'll cut it short here when we get to week 6, which I do like. It was a really fun week in this sense. We were at the 11th hour last week. I know I've kidded a couple of shows where we wait kind of last minute. We sort of have a really good idea by the evening time on Friday out here in California. But Jeff, I mean, last Friday, we were on the phone for 2 or 3 hours, really discussing, CSI, if you will, 3 or 4 games. I told them, I think on the show, I thought the Bills there was a look ahead aspect to this. I thought they were just going to put the beating behind the woodshed to the Steelers. That was one of our final picks. We left that one at the desk. Monday morning quarterback. But it's part of all this. We knew that when we were going to do this for 18 weeks and enjoy this ride, we were not going to have this woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yes, we left 3 at the desk last week. We had really good eyes. We went with the Jets. It was between the Jets and Steelers. I talked them out of the Steelers. But it was 11th hour. But I was proud, Jeff. When we were sitting 4-0 that night, the reason I didn't reach out to you, Jeff, is because I'm superstitious. And I thought, I ain't letting him know we're 4-0 because I'm only going to let him know when Monday's over. That's been my protocol with you. I like to keep you kind of in tune with all this, and we share a few moments. I value your judgment, but we were ecstatic at 4-0, and they were easy. We didn't have to, Jeff. We didn't have to sweat one. There wasn't one text last week. Hey, we're up 20-0, because my phone was off. If you try to reach me at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock your time on Sunday, good luck. You've got better odds of reaching Joe Biden than me. My phone is off, Jeff.
I'm just as superstitious. I get those texts and I tell people, you guys can't do that. I just wait till it's graded, officially graded. I don't send a tweet out when we're up 20, when we're down. I don't even grade one that we're about to win until it goes final. And the same with the losses. I just don't do it. Some people try to do the reverse chinks up there. You're down early. Yeah, this is a loss, and then it comes back and win. Ha, ha, ha. I'm the same as you. And so a funny story about the contest was I did the first year contest. We did very well. The second year, we didn't do well. On the third year, I says, here are my plays every Saturday once I posted them. And I would then get the questions. Are these releases, Jeff? And everyone knows what we do on Sunday. We do the action parlay. We do the action parlay for a reason. We don't want to put the bankroll at risk. So I says, no, these are our plays. You can do what you want. And that was the year that we hit like 64, 65%. So the people that played the parlays every week, they made money on those. But if they were playing our CIRCA picks individually, they made a lot of money on those as well. So it's kind of one of those things I understand about the superstitious thing. It is what it is. You don't want to release. There's some guys that release their CIRCA cards as soon as they play them. Here they are. They want everyone to know. So when they go 5-0 and they're celebrating with duck boats and parades, they want everyone to know. But those same people that do that also are taking the egg on the face when they go 0-5, 1-4, or whatever. So it's a week-to-week grind. It's enjoying the process, which you guys are doing.
Yeah, we are. And it's challenging. Myself, I consider myself pretty sharp when it comes to NFL. I love doing it. I love analyzing each game. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the guys. I mean, we've had a very good season so far. I mean, I NFL is my second hobby. I do think there's a way to make money in it, but it's fun, Jeff. It's like going to the bakery store. It's like, it's finding 5 games. I mean, Jeff, let's hit the board, my friend.
All
I
right,
mean,
so we're gonna
I
do
wake up. I was gonna say I wake up on Tuesday, Wednesday morning, and circa before in the past, I started looking at line movements Wednesday, Thursday. I was a lot like you. I'll look at the Sunday night. I'll look a little bit at injury reports. I'll form an opinion, but I really don't pull the trigger, if you will, until later in the week because I don't know about injuries. I'm not one of these guys that likes to wager from an early line. I I just don't. A lot of times I will make my maneuver on Sunday. I will make my move. I'll wake up and it'll just hit me, Jeff. I see it. It's like Karnak and the Magnificent is talking to the people. Mr. Lucky, it's the Jets today. And that's what happened last week. And I like money line dog parlays. It's funny because Jeff, you do the Sunday Fun Day parlay, and it's so reminiscent of what I like to do. It's a fun day. You're gonna have envelope Monday, if you will, or you're gonna have pay the man on Monday. Have a little fun on Sunday, right? Play a couple games if you like a couple games, and have fun. And I can't begin to tell you. Um, I mean, until I die, I think I'm a Circa client. Jeffrey Benson. I won't be doing Survivor though. How many people are left in Survivor? 700, I think,
something
out
like
of four. Anyway, let's go on with the show here, my friend. I've got 3 or 4 games I like. I like the board. That might be really bad. I'm a little Jeff. I'm a little worried because I like it so much. I
well,
do
then,
like it.
let's talk the board before we talk the circa. We'll play the game. You and I, your amigos, Dave Sharapan, Bernie Frado is sitting at the South Point. We just had lunch at the
Del Mar Deli.
Del Mar Deli, and we're about to go to the window. Give us a couple games where your eyes are for just a couple
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm happy to. I'm happy to. And a couple people have reached out to me, and this is all new to me. Thank you so much for your kind comments, people out there in Twitter world. I am enjoying it. Thank you, Jeff, as always. Uh, I really like the Giants on Sunday. Now, and I'd like to pick your brain on this angle. There has been this narrative out there about teams coming back from London. Are they going to have this uh, difficult flat spot travel? Are they going to be weary? What's happening there? To me, that's a bunch of crap. The Saints won last week coming from London. The Vikings blew a 21-3 lead coming from London. I'm not even going to take this into play, but I will take this angle on the Giants. I know Lamar's 12-0 versus the NFC, but who's 4-1? Who's got the number one runner in the NFL right now? The Giants. Danny Dimes has played well. They've got the mojo of the new coach. Martindale's playing against Lamar. I think he'll know his schemes. Devil's advocate. Lamar's good against the blitz. The Giants like the blitz. But if I told you that teams that are 80% or higher in week 6 or later are underdogs, if I told you that was over 60% profitable, I think you probably would have eyes on the Giants, and I like the Giants. I think they might even win the game. I'm not sold on the Ravens. I think they have a horrible defense. I don't think their pass defense is very good. I think the Bengals showed that you can run on them last week, and the Giants will run. As long as Danny Dimes does not turn the ball over, I like the Giants in a very close game. That's one I've got on my radar. Probably be a play, even in CIRCA. Um, I'm going to be contrarian on this one, Jeff. I like the Bengals on the road. I know it's a back-to-back. I know Joe's going back to Louisiana. But what have the Saints done? They've been a disappointment to this viewer. I think that was one team I almost went to the window with them at over 9 wins this year. Almost. I know Scott liked them. And a few people I talked to liked them. Thankfully, I did not. And I think their defense is suspect. I just think Burrow is going to win a game. I think Burrow is going to go into Louisiana. It's a short number. Who did the Saints beat? I mean, they've lost some close games, but I mean, they beat Seattle. I mean, Seattle couldn't guard you and me or their suitcase at the airport, Jeff. So I like this. I like a bounce back there for the Bengals. Both teams are 2-3. I think the Bengals come out with a 21-17 win at the Superdome. Joe's return. So that's a side I like. I do also like, and I'm going to be a contrarian here, Jeff. I like the Chiefs. Mahomes is an underdog. He's never lost. What does everybody expect? Buffalo. They've been eyeing this game on the calendar since 13 seconds finished up in January. The Chiefs obviously were looking ahead for this game. I think the Bills are banged up defensively. I think Andy Reid will make more adjustments, in-game adjustments. I think Mahomes is going to prove a point. And Arrowhead's going to be rocking on Sunday. And it's a marquee game, but I think I might go to the window on the Chiefs. Thoughts on that one? You're smiling, Jeff.
Well, this game is intriguing for a couple things. The under-over was 53.5. It's now 54. There is not going to be one person in Vegas holding an under ticket, first of all. They're going to remember what they saw last. That's number one. Number two, if I told you, Mr. Lucky, that in the 5 Bills games this year, okay, in the 5 Bills games, I'm going to say this off the top of my head now. I hope I remember them correctly. The Rams, the Titans, the Ravens, and the Steelers. What do they all have in common?
I don't think anyone scored in the second half. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. The only team that scored in the second half against them was the Dolphins in that heat. So my point is, I think it's going to be a real great first half. I think the Bills are going to do what they do best, is make adjustments, and they're going to keep scoring in the second half. And I think, as I have said since June, July, and August, that this team is not only going to be the number 1 seed, you got to go through Buffalo. The difference between the last 2 years and this Bills team is that they've had to go to someone else's house. You're going to have to go through their house. This game means so much to both teams because this has number 1 seed written all over it.
Yeah.
And if whoever wins this game will hold the tiebreaker, obviously, against the other opponent, if those two teams are tied at the end of the year. Another difference is Von Miller. You got someone that's going to be chasing Patrick that they didn't have last year. Their secondary is a little banged up. They stopped the run okay. And I just think that it's the Bills' year. Now again, I do too. Totally wrong.
I do too.
Totally wrong on this. You never see Mahomes as a dog. Never mind at home. Vegas made a statement. They didn't say it was a pick 'em. They didn't say it was Kansas City -2. They said, no, it's the Bills -2, 2.5. Come get as much cheap money as you want. So with the 54 and a 3 or a 2.5, they're telling you right now 27-24, 28-23, somewhere in that. So as you're doing your final notes on this, take a look at the team totals. Is it 23.5 juiced over? Is it 24.5 juiced under for the Chiefs? And then go from there.
Yeah, I think that's a game that I will. If I play that game, it's more my pocketbook than the CIRCA. And Jeff, this game is a perfect example of, is it going to live up to expectations, right? We're all going to wake up on Sunday morning, and that's the game everyone's going to want to see, including me at the Westgate. That's where we'll be. Dave Sherapan, if you're listening. And I hope it's a great game, but you and I have been there before, right? I mean, I'm going to make a prediction in this game. It will go down to the wire on a great play by Mahomes, or it'll be a Buffalo blowout. There's going to be no in between here, because I've seen this 100 times. The script has been played before. You've got a marquee game. Will it live up to it? I hope it does. It's like the nightcap on Sunday. Another game that I don't think will be on our card. I mean, I can make a case for the Cowboys. I can make a case for the Eagles. I mean, the Cowboys' defense is lights out, but they're playing against the legs of Jalen Hurts. They haven't seen that all year, Jeff. You know who leads the league in rushing touchdowns as a team? The Eagles. You know who has given up the least rushing touchdowns as a team, Jeff? The Cowboys. Our buddy Dan the Man Alexander, he's going to be there live. And hey, Dan, and he told me this week, Jeff, who's coming into town? The 85. Thought it was funny, Dan. I think, Jeff, you might have seen the tweet. Who's coming into town? The 85 Chicago Bears. Meaning, who's 5-0? Right, Jeff Dawson? And again, respect the opening number. But Jeff, this one's had quite a line movement. You know that, right? There's 3 games this week, Jeff, that have caught my eye on line movement. If you don't mind me mentioning them, the Viking and Miami game. There's been a lot of line movement in that one. I think like 5 or 6 points. Who's gonna quarterback for the Vikings? You're gonna have a third string quarterback. That's obviously why that is. You've got the Vikings going to the sauna. But if I told you that Miami has won 8 straight at home, you're going to think twice about the chalk in that game, my opinion. Eagles has had line movement. Here's an interesting one, too. The Jags have had line movement. That game is an interesting one because I still believe in this Jags team. They were not on our card last week. Colts looked good last week as far as the pass rush. But who would the Colts play? I mean, Russell Wilson's running for his life. Colts are 0-5 as a favorite. That is on our radar for the CIRCA. I think the wrong team is favored there. I get it. I get why the Colts are favored. But I don't know, Jeff. Cooper Rush, 5-0 as a starter. Are the wheels going to come off? I can't resist this one. Are the wheels going to come off the Mini Cooper?
Well,
Possibly, Jeff Dawson.
Don't rush to the window on that one, okay?
Yeah, I think that's a game I will have, like as you say, little popcorn and pizza. Watch it with popcorn and pizza. But got one for you on this. We've been going back and forth a little bit this week on a few games, but I present this question to you, and I do like doing this a lot, and I know you do it. Do you see a scenario on Sunday evening, where you have the Giants 5-1, the Cowboys 5-1, and the Eagles 5-1.
I'm
Possibility. It's
I'm
possibility.
I'm usually good at these, okay? Because your first comments, you came out of the gate with the Giants, and I didn't give you my rebuttal on the Giants. They shocked the world. They didn't play a good first half, but they shut the Packers out in the second half, and they shocked the world and won that game. Now they come back home. Okay, couple red flags here for me. The total, for one thing, is 45.5. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you got a Giant team high off the hog off of that win, a team that's 4-1 that no one expected them to be 4-1. Okay, in comes Lamar. The Giants have the best running back currently in the NFL with Saquon Barkley. How do you beat the Ravens?
You pass on them. They have the worst pass defense in the league.
Exactly. How do the Giants win ball games?
They run.
Okay. And
Very astute, Jeff. Very astute.
Look at the total. It's not 40. It's not 41. It's 45.5 and climbing. And it's a 5.5 number. Now, Lamar was 3-point favorites at New England, and he was 3-point favorites somewhere else this year. It's 5.5. For me, I'm going to just tell you this. I think this game goes way over the total, number one. And you know I suck at totals. I think this game goes way over the total, number one. And I think the Ravens, I think this is a double-digit win. I just think this is the Lamar show. I think if you get behind this team now, Danny's going to have to throw the ball, which they have no wide receivers. Kadarius Toney still isn't playing. Galladay, nowhere to be found. Now, I think the rookie, Warner Robinson, will be back. But the point is, if the Ravens make a statement and get out early, it's something that the Giants, they were able to do because the Packers allowed them last week. And you know, and I know Harbaugh will not step off the throat. He will just keep moving and moving and moving. I think this is a Ravens win. And I'm not trying to get you off the Giants.
No. I appreciate that, Jeff. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I just think that the Giants offense is not set up because of the Ravens. It's the passing game, you know, and we could go back to Eli. We could go back to Phil Simms, McConkey. We can go back to some of the, you know, the salsa dance. Shepard when he's healthy. It's the Barkley show in defense right now, and play keep away. Big plays from Barkley. I think Lamar has a huge day here.
And Lamar's 12-0. I think I mentioned that already, right? He's 12-0 versus the NFC. I respect your opinion. I mean, the Giants, Jeff, I mean, what? I think I went to have coffee, walked the dogs. They were down, I don't know, 17-3. I think I saw the score, honest to God. I came back home, had some, I think we made some breakfast. I turned on the score. I couldn't believe I couldn't believe they won. I think they scored on their last 5 drives. When's the last time a Giant team scored on 5 consecutive drives? I mean, Y.A. Tittle was probably the quarterback. I mean, that's been a long time, Jeff.
No, I agree. And it's a fascinating board. It really is.
You think it's a get-right spot for Miami? How do you feel about that game?
I said on the show with Sharapan and Brady last night on the Sportsbook Confessions. I've been jokingly saying all year that Kirk Cousins is going to be the MVP, and because he's got Justin Jefferson, and they're 4-1. They got a 1-game lead over the Packers. This is usually the spot that Cousins lays an egg, but I could not take either side on this game because it's going to be a third string with Skylar Thompson. You got gifted. I liked the Jets last week. I love the Jets, but that was not a concussion. I'm not a doctor, but because what has happened with Tua, there was no way that Teddy was getting brought into that game. Skylar's had a week now to prepare. I think Miami could be sneaky here. The Vikings are due to lay an egg like Green Bay did. So after this weekend, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Packers and Vikings both tied. But to put my hard-earned money on the Dolphins or to put them in the CIRCA contest, I think you're at a disadvantage there.
Jeff, how do you feel about Bill going back to Cleveland? That's on my radar. I mean, he's 8-1. Jeff, can you make out this Cleveland team?
Well, before we want to get the duck boats and parade off of a shutout with the Lions, that was their first game truly outside that you and I discussed about.
Yeah.
Their games had been in the Dome or at Minnesota. They were banged up, no Swift, no St. Brown. So, again, Bill loves this quarterback because he's a puppet. He's not going to put him in bad spots. You have to really peel this layer back. Go to the opening number, Cleveland -3. It's gone to 2.5. You got to take it a step further here, Mr. Lucky. Brissett has put this team in back-to-back weeks with a chance to win the game and thrown picks. Okay? It's going to be the Ramondre Stevenson show. It's going to be the Chubb show. It's going to be the Kareem Hunt show. Between the two teams, they'll probably have 30, maybe 35 passes at most. It's who wins the turnover battle. And I think this time, the Browns find a way to win the game without Brissett throwing a touchdown. But this is usually the spot where the Patriots get well. They won last week. They'll find a way. It's another game that, for me, is only the Browns or nothing.
Okay. Yeah, and the Browns have lost 3 games by 6 points, I believe.
Yeah. All Brissett turnovers.
Yeah, they got me 1 game in the CIRCA. How about the Jets and Packers? I kind of like the Jets. I mean, they've got some momentum. I like that. I like the running back. They, I believe, Jeff, lead the league in interceptions. They're playing really good, Jeff. And you trust this Packer offense?
No, I don't.
We know LaFleur, and we know the narrative here, right? We know LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers don't lose back-to-back games. I get it. I know they're going to the frozen tundra. Jets didn't. I think the Jets won last week, their first division win, Jeff, in 3 years. Jets are on my radar. I like the Jets. I think 7.5. What is it today, Jeff? I honestly didn't check. For the CIRCA, we are at 7.
It's 7.5 and a 45.
Yeah.
Here's what's a little alarming to me.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers are 3-2, and if Bill decided to go for it in overtime, they could have been 2-3, and the Patriots won that game. So they are very lethargic right now. I would expect a highly motivated and inspired team. I would expect the defense to give Zach Wilson some problems. They would probably try to bottle up Breece Hall and make Zach beat them. Listen, I think the Packers win the game. Do they cover the 7? Here's what I would say to everyone listening here. Yeah. If you didn't have the Jets last week, you don't take the Jets this week.
We had them last week. How about Jaguars? Are they done? Is this a Jaguar team that's going to tease us? We thought we were going to have a 7 or 8 win team. I mean, Trevor Lawrence last week, Jeff, didn't get hit once. Not once. Now he's going to Indianapolis. It's a revenge spot. It's an in-season revenge spot for the Colts. From what I've been reading, Jeff, this is a popular dog this week, the Jags.
Well, I want to say the number's wrong, but I'll play the game here with you. Week two, the Colts coming off the tie were 4-point favorites and got shut out 24-0.
Yes.
Okay. So now what they did is they used the 6 line and says, all right, we're going to open up the Colts -2, which is the wrong line. Think about this for a second. They did the reverse flip there. The Colts were -4 on the road in Jacksonville. So they should be -6, correct? 6.5, 7? So that's how much more respect Vegas has for the Jags versus the Colts. Now, I don't know if some of this is because they're unsure if Taylor's playing. We know They've had a couple days extra off because of the Thursday night game. I will tell you what
Right.
my take on this is, that Vegas has taken a stance that the Jaguars will not have 3 clunkers in a row. That's my take on it. It's Jags or nothing on this play.
I agree. And the Colts can't score.
No.
Um, yeah, I agree. I think it's probably on our card. Jags. I think Jags are just a better team than the Colts. Trevor Lawrence.
I got to ask you.
He'll have a bounce back.
I got to ask you this one. I want to see where your eyes are here. You're astute. You're smart. You're an old school guy like me. Okay? It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's if you cover, correct? Isn't that the name of the game here?
Absolutely.
Okay. The Atlanta Falcons are 5-0 against the spread. One of those games, they were in LA getting their ass handed to them, and they came all the way back in the second half, had the ball with a chance to win outright. This past week in Tampa, they were getting their ass handed to them, came all the way back in the second half, and if it wasn't for a phantom flag, would have had the ball with a chance to not just cover, but to win the game. The 49ers last week, shame on me, were 3.5, 4, 5-point favorites against the Panthers. A lame duck coach you and I both knew from August.
Right.
Mayfield gets hurt. Box the wire, thanks for playing. I said on my tweet, on the alert that you got, if he sees midnight, it would be lucky for him. He gets fired Monday morning. And now they're 5-point favorites over the Falcons. Now, Jimmy G, now word has it through our contacts, our colleagues, Shanahan's getting a little more comfortable. He feels blessed they didn't trade him. They're starting to feel a little more comfortable with each other. Kittle will score this week. We don't know if Kyle Pitts is playing, probably not. Are you taking the sizzle of the steak here?
Okay. So for full disclosure, okay, we played the 49ers last week against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We took it as it's a lame duck coach. It is a far better defense. There's just no way Carolina could score on the 49ers. Jeff, it's one of those, and I tweeted this week. I saw this somewhere. The Falcons are the first team in the last 40 years to be 5-0 against the spread and have a losing record. Okay? Do I think the 49ers win the game? I do. But here's my concern. If you're 5-0 against the spread, you can be 6-0 against the spread, and you'll be kicking yourself on Sunday night saying, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Why I don't want to play the game is 49ers are the better team.
Mm-hmm.
49ers should win. Tampa was, I don't know what happened. I didn't see all the game, but I know that they were up 21-0, as you mentioned. I think Tampa tends to be conservative. One thing, the coach there, and I think he's a fine defensive-minded coach. I think he takes his foot off the gas pedal a little bit more than the prior coach. I can't touch the game, Jeff. We've talked about this one already during the week. If I went to the window, my brain says take the 49ers off back-to-back road games where they are 4-0 when they've had this scenario. I know it's been out there in Twitter world. I know all about it. They stay in West Virginia. They don't fly back home. They stay in the East Coast, and they are 4-0 to the spread straight up in these scenarios. I understand all that. But the Atlanta Falcons, I think they're going to get Pitts back. I think that's a backdoor cover, 23-20 final. That would be my take on it, Jeffrey. I hope I gave you an okay answer. It will not be a play for me.
All right.
or for us?
I'm going to close, which I think is the one game that I would see. If you ask me to give you one play this week, I'm going to give it to you. Again, I don't want you to take it. I'm just suggesting it. A team that is 0-3 at home, a team that's 2-0 on the road. And I just think this is a perfect spot for them. They have owned the Hawks in the past. They get D-Hop back next week. This is, I think, a get-well spot for them. I think the Cardinals go in, and I think the Geno. Listen, if you wanted a comeback player, the MVP, no one ever thought about this year. Hats off to Geno Smith. This guy has been amazing. This offense has been amazing. I just think the Cardinals play so much better when they get out of the desert. They stay focused. I think this is a perfect spot for the Cardinals.
Okay. You know, the Cardinals have just been two halves. They've been horrible in the first half, and they've been really good in the second half. Yeah, that one is that's an interesting that one is sort of off my radar because I don't like the coach in Arizona. I don't know, Jeff. I just think the Seahawks found something with Geno this year. I respectfully the numbers say, we've talked about this. You play the Seahawks on the road. Excuse me. You play the Cardinals on the road, and they lay an egg at home, typically. What do you feel? I want to close with this one for you. Here's one of my favorite plays of the week. And I only base it on the fact that you've got a team that hasn't really lived up to the preseason hype. They have really been inconsistent offensively. I think the Bucks put a beating on the Steelers. I think the Steelers are in rebuild mode. I think they know Pickett's their quarterback. Their defense has not been playing well. They're 0-8 with Watt out of the lineup. I think Tom got something back last week. He hit Godwin. He found Godwin. He found Evans. I think the run game is good when they use him. I just don't see how the Steelers stay in that game, and that's an unpopular take, by the way, based on everything I've read all week. Thoughts on that one?
If I told you right now the line's now 9.5, okay, it's going to be 10 by kickoff. What do I always preach, Mr. Lucky? Everyone remembers what they saw last. I'm just going to say this. Tom's offense is not what the Bills' offense is, first of all. Second of all, you got a team that is morally already defeated. They got a rookie quarterback. They got a good, solid running back that now is not getting touches. They've already come out and said that Warren will now see more touches. It's a team in total disarray. If I told you, and I'm going to second guess myself probably here, that Tom will win the game. He'll win the game. I have this little pit in my stomach that says that they have a little soft spot for Tomlin, which I know Tomlin and Tom don't see eye to eye. They always have battled. I just think the Bucks win but don't cover. How, I don't know. Maybe Pickett to Pickens late, Pickens to Freiermuth late. I know this Pittsburgh team is offensively challenged, but the under-over computer model was 43.5, Mr. Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
The total's up to 46. So now Tom's getting some of his weapons back. It's a decimated Steelers defense. They're not going to be able to put pressure on Tom. Fournette's going to run wild. I see what everyone else sees. Here's the other thing that I'm going to say in your favor that I don't think enough people are talking about. They started their first two games on the road. They opened up in Dallas, and they beat Dallas. Then they went to the Saints, and the Saints couldn't score against them. Dallas couldn't score against them. Then they come home, and they lose 2 in a row at home, and then they finally beat Atlanta. So maybe, again, like I said with Arizona, 2-0 outright, 2-0 on the cover on the road. Maybe this is the same thing with the Bucks. They're 2-0 and they covered both games on the road. So now maybe a little get out on the road. Tom can get out of Tampa. Maybe your eyes are spot on there. So if I'm going to say to you, you got to play the Cardinals because they're on the road, I can now turn to you and say, Lucky, you might be onto something there. Tampa on the road is 2-0 straight up and against the number as well. Therefore, an 8 versus a 9.5, which will be 10 at kickoff. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah. Indians went up on the Yankees. Hey, Jeff, let me ask you a question. I know you probably thought this when it happened because I know I did. Why are you pitching to Jordan Alvarez, an ex-Dodger? Jeff,
Well,
why
listen.
are you pitching to Jordan Alvarez, an ex-Dodger? I repeat myself. Not to segue to baseball, but you know I got to put in my 3 cents of baseball. Come on.
Here's the difference. When I talked about why you pitching to Jose Ramirez, which the Rays did twice, and I love that tweet in 2016, they got Fields for Alvarez. I also commented, I don't know if you saw this, back in my heyday when the Red Sox were in a big pennant race, they traded Jeff Bagwell for Larry Anderson. And Bagwell goes on to play 19 years, and we
Good one.
brought out
Good one. Forgot about that one.
Yeah, exactly. So the problem with the Astros is their lineup is long like the Dodgers. You got an Altuve, you got a Bregman, you got a Tucker, you got an Alvarez. They're battle tested. So you finally, with a guy on first, you walked him. Like I said, I'll throw 4 bocce balls up there. You're not going to beat me. And that 2-run homer was a check swing to left field. So
Jeff,
unfortunately, Seattle's going to come home and, like the White Sox, like me and Riley talked about, maybe try to steal one with Kirby. The Astros taking him 4, and they're hoping the Guardians. Listen, Guardians win today. Sticks is live dog tomorrow. Remember that. You're going to be in Vegas.
And he's been dynamite.
Live dog tomorrow.
And dynamite. He's been dynamite.
Oh, rock solid. Lights out. He won us
Jeff.
$7,500 single-handedly.
Hey, Jeff. How about them 111-win Dodgers? You know what I've been saying all year, Jeff Dawson. Check in with me next week.
Well, I'll just end with this. You better get out early on Snell because as you got the alert, I think that you get a ticket number early from the Padres, whether it's Soto, whether it's Machado, someone. I think they get out early. And that crowd, listen, did you see the way they did the line shake after they won game 2?
Yes.
It was just business as usual. They weren't doing out there duck boats and parades and celebrate. It was like, we got this one. Now you're coming to our house. That place will be electric tonight.
And house money, Jeff, they're playing with house money. That's when teams are dangerous. Okay? They lost them in 20. They were supposed to be the team last year. They underperformed. This year, the Dodgers smoked them 14 out of 19. I saw every one of those games. Some were very, very close. The Dodgers, and I'm might eat my words, but I've got a lot of gray hairs. I've watched a lot of baseball over the years, okay? This Dodger team is overrated. I tweeted 2 or 3 weeks ago that their infield defense, with the exception of Freddie Freeman, will hurt them in the playoffs. We know what happened game 2. Mookie's not hitting. They go like Mookie goes. If Mookie wakes up tonight, gets 3 hits, they'll win. The only thing about Snell I don't like is his pitch count goes up. But that guy he's got no hit stuff. And the Dodgers struggle with lefties. I'll be honest, Jeff, I think the Padres have a real good shot. And it's one of those where it's baseball. Anything can happen. But I don't see the Dodgers winning tonight. And I think the Dodgers are in a lot of trouble in this series.
It's 4-2 now, Guardians. So they brought in Talion, and who led off with a double but Ramirez. So it's 4-2 now. They brought in Schmidt. Getting back to your Padres, again, a dangerous spot for the Dodgers with Gonsolin because you don't know what you're going to have for a pitch count, what
Right.
you're going to get from him, and
Right.
you got to face Musgrove tomorrow. So these dogs are live. You know, this is what I didn't like. I like to play series. I
Yeah.
like to play series and be able to go in and hedge or double down with a free swing. And all the favorites were 2-1. And I thought Seattle was live. Well, obviously, if they had won game one, they would have been a lot liver. So that series was over after game one. I thought the Guardians were live because of their pitching. The problem is they don't hit the long ball. So if you give up a couple walks and a single 3-run homer, you're in trouble. That's what happened with Cole. Well, they went down 2-0 today, but this is the type of team they are. They grind, they get one, they get another. Now they're up 4-2, a chance to score even more. They win this one. That plane ride back to Cleveland. Oh my God. I'm telling you, the Yankees are going to be like snare drums.
Yeah.
They're going to be like this. Facing Sticks, who's mic'd up today, who's fire. Oh my God. Place will be electric tomorrow, Jake.
Ask the White Sox what they think of Sticks. I think 27 Ks in his last 2 appearances with the White Sox. He reminds me of Satchel Paige for some reason when I see him on the mound.
How about a little? I'll go Boston. And listen, they're not the same pitcher, but the same mentality. How about Dennis Oil Can Boyd?
Yes, good one. Yes. Yeah, and very good, by the way. You're correct on Alvarez. He does remind me a little bit of Poppy.
He does. And he's
Jeff,
only getting better. He's only
Jeff,
getting
the line drive he hit in game one, I think the ball is still traveling. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a harder hit ball by a left-handed hitter in my lifetime. I mean, that was a missile.
It was.
All right, my friend. I might reach out to you regarding just some Dawson thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I will send you a couple of videos from Vegas. We're going to have a blast. Thank you for inviting me. Everybody tread lightly. I think it'll be a good football weekend. Jeff, a lot of luck for you. Best to you. And thank you for having me. And go Giants.
Hey, and
For
happy
my
birthday.
cause.
Go, happy birthday. Enjoy yourself in Sin City. Tell the boys I said hello. I missed them. We'll get out there soon. And best of luck in the contest. And we'll see you soon, Mr. Luck.
I got Frank behind me for you.
You take
Okay.
care.
Have a great weekend, Jeff. Be well. Thank
Take
you.
care. The one and only Mr. Lucky at Follow Fade. If you're not following him, follow him. He is a hoot, and he's a great, great friend of ours at ECSI. Again, as we speak, let me check this phone. 4-2, and that's going to the bottom of the 10th. The Guardians trying to hold on to even that series. And Phillies right now, bottom of the second, no score. Strider versus Nola. Should be a low-scoring game there. For myself and ECSI, we wish everyone a great, great night, and the weekend is here. Again, I always like to close Friday this way on the pizza man, and everyone that works 9 to 5 working for the man gets paid today, and you're supposed to go home, see the wife, pay the bills, put the money here. Okay, this is for the mortgage, for the rent, for the cable, for the phones. And a lot of people get that paycheck, and they call the wife and say, "Hey, Jan, I'm going to go get us some food for the night." And then they get caught up at their local watering hole, their local casino, sports book, put a little action on the early games, the 7 o'clock games. And then what ends up happening is you lose. So you're like, shit, there goes the cell phone money, there goes the cable money. So then you're there for the late games, whether it's the Dodgers and Padres tonight, whether it's a late hockey game. And next thing you know, the wife calls at 11 o'clock, "Where are you, hon?" All the pizza's on the oven. And you get home at 11:30, there's your pillow, there's your comforter, there's the couch, and there's the cold pizza. So don't be that guy, okay? Tomorrow morning, I don't know if I will be here to do a college football show. We're trying to get the new office and studio set up for the weekend so we can go live whenever we want from there. A lot of big stuff brewing. So if I don't get a show on early, I'll try to get one on late afternoon. If things break the right way, I might be able to get a live afternoon, evening show from our new studios. But we're excited. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Mr. Follow and Fade, Mr. Luis at Follow Fade, Mr. Lucky. We wish everyone a blessed evening. Have some fun today. Enjoy the games. Cash a few tickets, and we'll see you this weekend.